Hi everybody! Oh man, long time no see! It's been a minute. Let me make this big screen so I can see what's going on here. It has been longer than I anticipated before making the next video, and there are many reasons for that, many of which I am going to share with you in this video. Things that were a big revelation to me this last week and a half. There were some physical things going on as well, some just feeling kind of overall kind of crappy, and so I had to kind of just take inventory and stop and just really tune into what was going on and why I was feeling this way. So anyway, first of all, before we get into all that, hi everybody, I hope you're doing well. I hope that things are, going well for you guys, and if it's not, well, we're in this together, and I'm sending you blessings, love, and light, and prayers. So, anyway, so hi. Hi, I've missed doing the video, I've missed putting this out there, and I really wanted to get it out there. I was feeling actually pretty anxious about it. I wanted to get it done. I got hair sticking to my lip gloss here. Oh yeah, there it goes. Oh, there it is. But I was feeling pretty anxious about it, and I wanted to get this video out, but for the life of me, I just couldn't do it. And I finally got to a place where my old pattern would have been to just completely stress out and be like, oh God, I gotta get this done, and just completely freaked out about it. I found that this time I stopped, I breathed, and I really sat with what's going on. Being present in the moment. What's happening? Why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling frustrated? What's happening? So, and I don't know if you guys can see this. The light is kind of being weird and funky in here, so I don't know. Anyway, coffee pot behind me. Because I made some delicious coffee for myself. Let me take a drink. Yummy. Okay. Anyway, so let's get to it. I want to talk to you guys and just be real about what's been going on and why I haven't made a video recently, or the last video from this past week. Sorry, my eyes are a little bit red because allergies and stuff is driving me a little bit nutty today. So anyway, so let me get to it. So I had planned to get the video out. I had planned to, the same routine that I've been sticking to and getting the video out by Monday or Tuesday. What I found though was from that weekend on, I had some things that were going on, and I just really felt, I don't know, to be honest, I felt confused. I didn't know how I felt. I had some personal things going on. I had just some things with busyness and life stuff, going on, and I just felt really, I didn't know what I felt, to be honest, because up to this point, every video has just flowed and just been on point, like just flowed, like there was no me feeling like I had to do, A through B to C to D to get all this done. Like, it wasn't like that. It just flowed. So I was feeling a little bit frustrated because I felt like that wasn't happening like it was before. So anyway, so like I said, I stopped and I asked myself, okay, after a few days, this has been a few days of this happening, this has been a few days of feeling sort of frustrated, feeling a little bit out of whack, feeling just at that point not realizing, not giving it a name, not knowing how to express what was going on. And it was really hot, because I know that all over California it was really hot this last week for a few days. Oh man, it was way hot out here, and I don't like the heat anyway, but it was super hot, and so the heat makes me really like, hey, anyway, like I don't like the heat. I get real grumpy when it's hot, and I'm human just like everybody else. So but I just felt like something was off, and I realized the reason that I feel this way is because I am off balance. I was feeling frustrated. I was feeling annoyed. I started to feel angry. I didn't know why I was feeling angry. I couldn't quite put my finger on what in the world was going on. Why was I feeling this way? until I realized, until I sat down, I meditated, I prayed, and I said, I need clarity. God, give me clarity. What is it? Why am I feeling this way? And I felt like I was being guided to go sit down and start to journal. So that's what I did. Got the pen, and literally when pen hit paper and I wrote probably one paragraph. By the time I got to the next paragraph, boom, hit me like a flash of light. You are off balance. And that's what I wrote down. Number one, I felt off balance. And I realized in that moment that's exactly what had been going on. That's exactly why I've been feeling the way that I've been feeling. Not feeling. Sometimes my dad's southern accent comes out. So, you know, I got the Mexican and the redneck going on. So sometimes, you know, I say hi and y'all and all that too. So it just kind of pops out. Sometimes it'll, anyway. But I just felt really off balance. So the things that I noticed when I was off balance, and I say this because we all get into those places where, you know, life happens. You got to take the kids to school. You got to go to work. You've got A, B, C, D, E, F, and G going on, and you, in the mix, you think, for me, this is how it went. Not even realizing it, because of the hot days and things that were going on, I was having to make adjustments to different things in my life, and not realizing in the middle of all of this that I was neglecting myself, that I was not applying the self-care that I have become accustomed to, that I have loved having in my life. I realized that I was busy, I was doing, I was busy, I was going, but I felt like I was running in circles. I wasn't accomplishing anything. I felt like I was just running in circles, and I realized that was the reason why I felt so off balance, was because I was just doing and neglecting myself, neglecting my time of meditation and prayer, neglecting my time just for me, whatever that means, whether it's walking, whether it's exercise, whether it's reading, whether it's meditating, whatever it is, that those things that bring me into the present moment, the things that bring me into a place of having a clear mind, a clear heart, or just a feeling like I'm in the flow. I realized that all the busyness I was going backwards into old habits, old ways of being, old ways of thinking, old thought patterns, old belief systems, and it was so automatic. It was so instant that I didn't catch it until days later when I was feeling the effects of what was going on. And I think that happens to a lot of us. I think we get so caught up in the fray, we get so caught up in the chaos of life, that we wonder, why am I feeling so pissed off and angry and frustrated, and oh, I've never been this kind of person, because that's the place that I found myself at for a while, especially before I came to this place of really, not just this last week, but even in like before this journey really started, where I started to take care of my body and everything. I found myself becoming a very angry, frustrated person, and I by nature am not an angry and frustrated person. I am not someone who gets angry easily, but I found myself being angry a lot. And so when I noticed again that this past week that I started feeling I'll tell you, the big clue for me was the moment that I started to react in anger to things, I knew something wasn't right, because that has not been my normal for a while. I've been, like I said, been present. I've been really on the spiritual path of wanting to take care of my mind, my heart, my spirit, my soul, my whole person together in love. And the second that I neglected myself, I mean, all that other stuff just came, all those old ways of being came back, that those patterns that you think are taking care of you, that are not really taking care of you, those things that are really just frustrating you and putting you in a spin, you know, the thoughts of, oh God, I've got to get this done, I've got to get that done, I'm you know, if this doesn't happen, then this won't happen, and you know, and then next thing you know, you're just really frustrated. So that's the place that I found myself. And referencing my notes, I just felt really frustrated and really off balance, and I was not happy. I was not happy. And I noticed that I was mentally tired, I was physically tired, I felt exhausted, like really exhausted. But that's what happens when we neglect ourselves and we try to feed ourselves with things that we're not really hungry for. That's the thing that I noticed with me. 99% of the time, I noticed that I started to feel confused about some things that, you know, some things that are happening in my life right now. And I know that from experience in my own life, that whenever I begin to feel confused or something like along that line, confused, frustrated, 99% of the time it's because I'm trying to convince myself of something that does not line up with my heart and does not line up with my highest good. Pretty much almost 100% of the time, that's the reason why. And I realized afterwards, when this all started to come to me, like, oh my God, this is what's going on, this is what's happening, is that I'm trying to convince myself. There were times, and now that looking back, I realize there were moments when I wanted to go pray, moments when I wanted to meditate, moments when I felt like I was being guided to read something or watch something that was inspiring or whatever it was, have time for myself. And I, in that moment, just made a snap decision and just said, oh, I'll get to that later. Right now, this is more important, whatever that is. And because of that, slowly, one step at a time, I started to become off balance. And so the little things, just like the little steps will push you into the right direction, the little steps will guide you into your purpose. It is the little steps and the little things that will take you in another direction and make you even go backwards and fall into those old patterns. It's those moments of neglect, those moments where you say, you know what, I'm not important enough right now, this is more important. And you may not even say that verbally, you may not even say that out loud. You may just, on some level, you're having this thought that I'm not important enough to do this. This is more important than meditating. This is more important than spending time with myself right now, when really it's not. Really all it's going to do is frustrate you and, you know, completely throw you off. So I'm thankful that I have come to a place in my life where this place of being off balance didn't last a month. It didn't last a year. It didn't last 5 years. I was able to catch it, and I was able to catch it within a week or a week and a half. So I'm grateful for that. Another thing that I noticed was the thought came to me, and the realization came to me that now that I've spent a significant amount of time with self-love and self-care and taking care of myself, being good to myself, listening to my heart, listening to my body, listening to my own needs, now having lived in a place like that for a significant amount of time and having something to compare it to, I realize now that nothing else works for me. I realize that anything less than that, anything less than loving myself, anything less than coming from a place of self-care and self-love and really staying tuned in to our higher source, to God, staying tuned in and plugged into that place, I find that everything else, just when I say everything else, I mean my own ways of being, my own thoughts and ideas that kept me fat for years, those old thought patterns, those old habits of overeating and trying to handle and take care of things in a dysfunctional way. I realized that just doesn't work for me anymore. And it's funny because, you know, your mind, your ego, even your body sometimes remembers these old thought patterns, these old ways of being, and immediately want to take you back to that, almost like a just jumps right in, you know, like, okay, we got to get this going, we got to take care of her. But really, it's not taking care, it wasn't taking care of me. It was, I'm thankful now that what it did was show me that living from that place just absolutely frustrates me. No. It shows me that something's not right, and that I need to stop and take inventory of myself. I need to say, okay, what is this? What's going on? Why all of a sudden? Or why am I feeling this way? Why am I reacting this way to this person? You know, because it's not their fault. This is something going on inwardly inside of me. And realizing that that's what is going on, was that I have been neglecting myself even in the small things. So I find that, you know, when I neglect my daily practice or anything having to do with that, I am not a happy camper, and I feel it in my body, I feel it in my spirit, I feel it in my heart. I just feel it. I feel it everywhere. And it's not a place that I want to go back to. But with that being said, though, I find that I just lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought. Boop. I'll get back to it. I don't remember what I was saying. Oh my God. Hello, Raina. Ginkgo biloba, aisle 9. Oh Lord. Anyway, no, what I was saying was that I just find that nothing else works for me, and nothing else satisfies me like being plugged into that place. So, and here's something else that I found really interesting, kind of when this all started being revealed to me, and I opened myself up to receiving the answer of why is it that I'm feeling this way. I realized that falling back into those old patterns, even if it was just for a few days, what I found was those are the patterns that I used to fall into when I wanted to escape from life. Those were the patterns that I would fall into when I didn't want to deal with things. Those are the patterns that I would fall into when I just wanted to hide away and not be seen and not be heard, and when I was in depression. And the most awesome revelation that I had when this all came to me was that I don't want to hide anymore. I've said this before, and I said this in the beginning of my first video. I don't want to hide anymore, but man, it came like boom, like a punch in the face to me this time. It was so clear. It was so clear to me. It was, I don't want to hide anymore. Those are my old patterns, my old ways of escape, and I'm not trying to escape. I'm not trying to put my head in the sand. I'm not trying to fall into those old ways of being. I want to be present. I want to be present here. I want to be present now. I want to be present with what is. I want to be present in my life. Every decision, from what I'm eating, to spending time with my dog, to talking to friends, whatever it is, I want to be fully present in those moments, and I'm not trying to escape anymore. And can I tell you how amazing that feels? After years of depression, it feels awesome. It feels incredible to be at that place where all I want to do is be present. I want to live. That's how you know that you're growing. That's how you know, because you, like I talked about last time in the last video, whenever you see a river or a spring, a body of water that's alive, or a tree that's alive, it's because it's rooted, it's producing fruit, right? A spring or river that is flowing, that's always in the flow and moving forward, there's life there. There's life in the water. There's life outside of the water. But the key is that, or the point is that there's life there. So I realized that that is a huge, huge sign to me that I am on the right path. I am in the right place at the right time for the right reason and the right season. I am moving forward. I'm not looking back anymore. I'm moving forward, and I realized that based on the fact that immediately when I started to get into that old place again, it did not resonate with me. It was just, it felt icky. I didn't like it. And I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to move forward. And it's amazing to me how the weight, the physical weight on my body that has been on this body, when I think about the pounds that I have had on my body for as many years as I've had them, I think about, and it's kind of gross to think about, but I think about those times that I was overeating alone in my living room, frustrated because of something or other that had happened, and I wasn't being honest with myself, and I wasn't sharing it. I wasn't being honest with myself or with God or with anybody, my friends, my family. Instead, I was just eating, and not thinking at all. But when I think about that, and I think about where I'm at now, it is such a awesome feeling, and I am so grateful. I am so grateful to be in that place. So I had to share this with you guys because it really blew my mind. Truly blew my mind. What blew my mind was that revelation, that truth came to me, and I got it. I caught it. I understood. That's what's happening. I get it now. You know, the thing that I know now is that nothing else satisfies me that way. Like I mentioned before, you know, you can't. If you're hungry for food, your body needs food. You can't go read a book. You need to eat something, right? If your heart is hungry for something, for love, for truth, for guidance, for whatever it is, you can't go do some random thing. I mean, we do those things. We drink. We, you know, escape into other ways of being, but they don't serve us. They don't truly meet the need. The thing that you're really hungry for is not being met. So we just keep trying to fill the void with other things that are not meant to fill that void. I think it's amazing that we are such complex beings, and that we have a higher source that has a purpose for each and every one of us. We all have a destiny, and we all have a purpose. And we know, now I realize, the years that I was frustrated, and the years, even the days that I have been frustrated, it's been because I've been out of alignment with my highest good. I've been out of alignment with my purpose, been out of alignment with what resonates with my heart. And it's a good place to be in, because now I can compare it. You know, when I start to feel a little bit, the least bit off, I now can tell I can now see the signs, you know. So maybe next time when that happens, because I think it's important for us to be forgiving of ourselves. I've had to be forgiving of myself in this. I've had to say, you know, Source, God, I am sorry that I, you know, kind of was falling backwards. But you know what? He is so good anyway. There's no, it's just like, yeah, it's all good. You're forgiven. It's all good. For me, I realize it's, you know, what is Source? What is God going to get out of all this? I mean, you know, He's everything perfect. And when really He wants my highest good. The only person that I'm hurting, the only person that you're hurting, when we step out of alignment and we don't listen to our heart, and we put other things as a higher priority, whatever that may be in our lives, and when we start living from that place, it doesn't feed us, it doesn't serve us, and it prevents us from growth. It prevents us from the flow, like the river. It prevents us from growing and developing roots and growing into this glorious life. Like, I think of a beautiful tree that you would see that has all this beautiful fruit on it. You know, that tree took time to grow to that place. It wasn't overnight. It was because that tree was planted and it was watered and it was cultivated. The soil was cultivated and the atmosphere was cultivated for that tree to grow. And it's the same thing with us. It's the same thing with us. We have to cultivate that in our lives. Cultivate growth and the things that support our growth. whether it's books or certain people that we're around, meditation and prayer, you know, all of that, they all work together. You know, really ask to be guided. You know, where am I supposed to go? What are the next steps that I'm supposed to take? And trust me, that answer will come. The answer is not always loud. It's not always like, well, if you go down here, you're going to meet this person. You know, it's not like that. It's 99% of the time, it's a still small voice. It's a knowing. It's an inner impression that you will feel guided toward. And you know that you're going in the right direction when you feel like, yes, like excited about it. Like, for example, if you're applying for, let's say you're a hairstylist, okay? And you decide you're going to go work as a mechanic. I guarantee you that as you're working as a mechanic, if your thing is hair and it's always been hair and you're great at hair, well, when you try and do the work of a mechanic, you're going to get pissed off and frustrated because that's not your flow. That's not your gift. But the minute you start working in a salon and doing your thing and working that hair, you know, and doing the thing that you're good at and the thing that you're lined up to do, you will feel it. You'll feel happier. You'll feel more joyful. You will feel in line with your purpose, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean. So I think it's important for us to be good to ourselves. It's important for us to forgive ourselves, though, when we get it wrong, because I made a decision that whereas my old pattern would have been, you know, oh God, I messed up, and oh, how could I do that? How could I miss that? Oh man, and just beat myself up and beat myself up and beat myself up. I decided, once I caught it, once that message came through, once I was listening to that, thank you, God, thank you, Source, thank you for the clarity that I've been praying for. Because that's I received the answer to my prayer. That was one. But it's the second part is, now I forgive myself. Now that you've forgiven me, now that I've gotten it, now I forgive myself and I move forward. I'm not going to stay camped out in self-loathing. I'm not going to stay camp out in disappointment, in a place of disappointment of myself. I'm going to keep on keeping on. I'm going to keep moving forward, and I'm going to keep trusting that everything is going to unfold as it should in my life as I continue every single day with all the decisions that I have to make for myself throughout the day. That when I come from a place of self-love, when you come from a place of self-love and taking care of ourselves, they will all unfold as it should. So, you know, that's kind of what I wanted to share today. It's not as long as other videos have been. I know you're going, oh, thank God! Because I know I can be chatty. I can be chatty. But I just want you to know that I send you guys blessings, love, and light. I send prayers to you that may your life be in a place of alignment. And if it's not in a place of alignment, may you hear the guidance coming to you from Source that will lead you into the direction of your highest good, in the direction of your destiny, your purpose in this life. Because you have such an amazing destiny, and so do I. And I from the bottom of my heart, so appreciate all of you, every single one of you who are on this journey with me, all of you who tune into my videos and listen with your hearts to the place that I'm coming from. Thank you. I feel that love coming from you guys. I feel that support. I feel that, and I genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. And we're in this together. And I just thank you. One other thing I wanted to mention too was that if anyone is interested in any videos about skincare, specifically natural forms of skincare, because I have been on this journey now and really learning about natural forms of skincare, as opposed to things that are full of chemicals and all that type of stuff. If you're interested in that, let me know. Send me an email, write me on Facebook, send me a private message. I don't care, whatever. If you're really interested in that, I'll be more than happy to you know, shoot some videos, maybe of some little tutorials or whatever. I really quickly will tell you this. I think I mentioned this before, that I have really been getting into fermented food and probiotics and things like that. And one of the things recently, within the last month, that I have found that is amazing for my skin, that has been blowing my mind. Well, two things, excuse me. One is fermented rice water or fermented rice milk, and also the actual grains of rice that I use to make the rice water and the rice milk that are pulverized. I use them as an exfoliant. And I use the fermented rice milk and the fermented rice water as a treatment for my skin. It has been amazing. I have been noticing big differences with texture, brightness, overall just smoothness of my skin. I make a scrub out of it. You can use it all over your body or on your face, whatever, as a mask. And I also have been using Himalayan salt. So anyway, if you guys are interested in that and I really want to know about it, I'll be more than happy to make some videos on that. But anyway, in the meantime, blessings, love, and light to all of you, and I'll be talking to you guys soon. Bye.